Ladies and gentlemen, what on earth did Jacksonville just do? Did the Atlanta Falcons end up getting in trouble for tampering with Kirk Cousins? What are my official predictions for WWE Clash at the Castle? Well, find out all that plus much more on another episode of Wyatt Talks About the World of Sports. Couple of plugs before we hop right into today's video. Do not forget to use code WyattzWorld on G Fuel or Prize Picks, where you can save yourself a discount on any G Fuel products or match up to $100 of your first deposit. But always play responsibly, and let's get into the video. Alright, so starting off the video, we've got probably the biggest piece of news going on currently, and that is Trevor Lawrence just signed a 5-year, $275 million extension with the Jags. There's a lot of mixed emotions going around about this signing right now, and I kind of want to get my 2 cents out so people can hear that before they really get carried away and start calling it the worst signing of all time. So I kind of did talk about this on TikTok yesterday too, but looking at it on an annual basis, the reason people are so furious about this is because Trevor Lawrence is now tied with Joe Burrow to be the highest paid quarterback yearly at $55 million per season. And obviously that brings the grand debate. What has he done to deserve that money? You know, he didn't even have that good of a season last year. What are they thinking paying him all this? Well, it turns out T-Law is already 4th all-time in Jags history for passing yards and passing touchdowns. He also helped the Jags win a divisional title and a wild card game. It wasn't the prettiest game, but he did win. And also, if you look at this year before his injury, the Jags were like 8-3. So like acting like he's just some ass quarterback, to me, that's completely invalid. And to me, the Jags are doing exactly what Miami did with Jalen Waddle. They're playing it safe. Look at the market. Like, yeah, it's a little bit of a gamble. At this very moment, is Trevor worth $55 million a year? Probably not. But in 2 to 3 years' time, he is either going to be worth less than that, which is the gamble, or he is going to be worth a lot more than that, which is going to make the Jags look smart. You got to understand, Jacksonville isn't crazy for this. The market is what's crazy. They had to do this. Bit of an overpay for now, but it's not that bad. Alright, next up we are going to be taking a peek at the Madden 25 cover if you somehow haven't seen it already. But this year EA Sports made the correct call and they actually gave the front cover to running back Christian McCaffrey. If you're asking me, they had 1 of 2 options and that was one of them. It was either him or CJ Stroud. Yeah, you could have had T. Kelsey on there, but that's way too many Kansas City Chiefs in a short period of time for Madden covers. Could have had Jason Kelsey on there, but I don't know if an O-lineman by himself would have been a good selling point. And then to the delusional people thinking that Joe Burrow or Justin Jefferson should have been on the front cover, get a fucking grip. Neither of those two played an entire season. Neither of those two had a historically good season. I mean, Jefferson did break 1,000 yards, I guess, in a shorter period of time than anybody else, but that's not enough for a Madden cover. Like, Christian McCaffrey was the absolute correct choice. I applaud Madden on that, but I still am holding my ground. I'm not getting your game on release. I am gonna wait and fucking see. Alright, moving on to the next piece of news, we have the Miami Dolphins signed Calais Campbell to a 1-year deal. Now, by no means does he replace Christian Wilkins, but he does give them a very, very good veteran to have up on the line. And Calais Campbell, like I said, you know, he's 37, 38 years old, but he is still extremely useful and a definite asset to have on your team, especially with veteran leadership. Guy had 6.5 sacks and a safety last year. He can still go. It's just that he's not going to help the Dolphins beat the Bills. Next piece of news we have involves the Falcons and their tampering situation. Are they going to get in any trouble? Oh yeah, they're losing their next 2 first-round picks. Nah, I'm just kidding. Reality of the situation, yes, the Falcons are getting in a little bit of trouble for tampering, but it's not nearly as bad as it could have been. It says right here, the 4-year contract Kirk Cousins signed with the Atlanta Falcons earlier this offseason includes an estimated $100 million in guarantees, but that's not all the franchise will be paying for. An NFL investigation determined that the Falcons violated the league's tampering policy during its pursuit of then free agent quarterback as well as wide receiver Darnell Mooney and tight end Charlie Warner. On Thursday, the league announced that Atlanta would lose a 5th round pick in 2025, so a slap on the wrist, and the team will also be fined $250,000, which is pocket change to an NFL team. Anyway, it goes on to say Cousins agreed to the $180 million deal shortly after the 52-hour legal tampering window had opened on March 11th. Meanwhile, Warner agreed to a 3-year deal on the same day, and Mooney then agreed to a $39 million deal just 1 day later. And now if you're wondering, hey, isn't it kind of normal for people to sign like as soon as they can after the window opens? Yeah, it is. But it's not normal for those athletes to then go onto a press conference and admit that they were talking to a team before the window was open like Kirk Cousins did. I mean, that's why they got in trouble, because Kirk said on the podium when he got there, there's great people here. And it's not just the football team. I mean, I'm looking at the support staff. Meeting calling yesterday, calling our head athletic trainer, talking to our head of PR. Like, you cannot do that before the window's open, and Kirk got a little bit too comfortable up there, and thankfully only cost his team $250,000 in a 5th round pick. Could have been a lot worse if you're asking me. All right, moving on, we're going to talk a little bit about the NBA Finals and basketball here, because I can't explain to you how happy it makes me to hear the entire media ripping Luka limb from limb for being a crying, whining little bitch. That's all I saw yesterday on SportsCenter, literally for 8 hours straight. People just saying that he is never going to win if he doesn't grow the fuck up. You know, to start off this series, I was actually kind of rooting for the Mavs just because of Kyrie. I like Kyrie, but Luka is so damn unlikable that I caught myself rooting for the Celtics by game 2. I remember I said this in the video when I talked about the Timberwolves losing to the Mavs. I will give him endless credit. He is an incredible athlete. He is an incredible shooter. But Luka is by far the biggest crybaby I think I have ever seen in the history of sports. He cries about everything. His own teammates bump into him, he cries and throws his hands up. So to see him flop on the ground during one of the most crucial moments of the game and then proceed to sit there like a toddler and scream at the fucking team to challenge it. Oh, I loved it. They all knew it was nothing. If you guys haven't gotten a chance to go watch it yet, go see what Brian Windhorst had to say about him on air yesterday, because he absolutely put him in a body bag. And Richard Jefferson too, basically going on to say that Luka's complaining right now is more embarrassing than the entire series in itself. The guy doesn't act like a champion, he doesn't deserve to be a champion, and he most certainly isn't going to be a champion this year, thankfully. Up next, I just want to plug an extra video that's going to come out either today or tomorrow or by Monday, I hope. But I submitted 10 PSA cards and they're supposed to be back today. Super excited about that, man. There's 1 Pokemon, 3 baseball, and then the rest are football, I believe. And one of them is a Justin Jefferson rookie. Been waiting for a long time, man. Like, I could look at the grades on my phone, but I want it to be a surprise and I want to make a video with you guys. So I hope you're excited for it and keep an eye on extra. And ending this video, I am going to be predicting WWE Clash at the Castle, which, by the way, tomorrow I will plan on streaming that if I have free time, so keep an eye on my Twitch. But first thoughts on this pay-per-view is it's extremely underwhelming. I think it honestly just kind of looks like ass. 5 matches, I think a couple of them are very predictable, and also the WWE so far this summer has been super crammed together. It feels like we have like 2 to 3 week breaks between pay-per-views, and that is not enough time for build-ups, and it's way too close together for me to pay that much attention to, man. There's a lot of stuff on right now, a lot of sports going on too. But anyway, first match on the card I will be predicting is the women's tag team match, and that is Bianca and Jade versus Zoe Stark and Shayna versus 2 girls who I don't even know. I actually could see Bianca and Jade losing the belts here, and if they did lose it, I would hope it would go to Zoe and Shayna. However, I don't think they're quite ready to drop the belts yet. So my official pick here is Bianca and Jade retain. Next match we got is Bayley versus Piper Niven. Bayley is going to win this flying colors. Moving on to the next match, we have Sammy versus Chad for the IC title. Here's my hot take of the pay-per-view. I actually think Chad wins. I just think at this point, if Chad were to lose here, he's never going to have a shot again, or at least he shouldn't, because what, that's like 4 or 5 straight L's he's taken for the belt? Bro. Moving on to the next match, we have Priest versus Drew McIntyre for the World Heavyweight Championship. A lot of people have Drew winning it here, especially since I think this is in his like home country. I disagree. I do not think Drew wins it yet. You haven't heard my theory. I actually have Drew winning the Money in the Bank and cashing in on Priest and winning the belt there. So therefore, this match for Drew to lose to Priest, I'm expecting to see a little involvement from a Mr. Phillip Brooks. And closing out the card, we have Cody versus AJ Styles for the WWE title in an I Quit match. You think Cody Rhodes is gonna say the words I quit? That's like saying John Cena would quit. Like, no, it's not gonna happen. This is fucking G.I. Joe. Be a good match. AJ definitely deserves to be in the title picture. It's just he's not gonna win it, and it's not even a consideration. Cody's retaining. And that is going to be all for this Friday news video, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. If you did like it and you want to show support, you guys know what to do. I appreciate any and all help. However, with everything I said, I'm going to get this edited so you guys can watch it on time. Take care, and I will see you in the next upload.